would you do if your house was on fire? For long term, I may ask them if they're nearing a retirement age, what are your plans for when you retire? I can also ask something like, what are your plans when you graduate from nursing school? That would indicate that long-term judgment is intact. Moving on to orientation, I am going to verify that the patient is oriented times 4. So I want to ensure that they can identify a person first. So I may ask, who's the president? Next, I'm going to ask a question regarding place. Can you tell me where you are currently? I'm going to ask them about time, if they can tell me the general time frame, trying to get as close as possible. And then lastly, I'm going to ask them to identify the situation. So I may ask, can you tell me why you are here today? Whether that be in the hospital or in a clinic setting or in a retirement home. Then I'm going to move on to memory. I'm going to ask for three questions regarding immediate, recent, and remote memory. So for immediate memory, I'm going to ask them a quick phrase. So I may say, can you tell me this phrase? All dogs are good. I would have them repeat that to me. For recent, I may ask them, what was the weather like yesterday? And then for remote, I may ask them, what year were you born? That will indicate that all of their memory is intact with those questions. Then I'm going to move on to attention span. So throughout these first couple steps in the assessment, have they been responding appropriately? Are they engaging me while I'm asking them these questions? Those are things that we're going to want to note for our attention span. Then for cognition, I want to make note that the patient was alert and oriented times 4. They were able to recite recent, remote, and immediate memory. I want to make note of that. And then lastly, I want to note their speech. How have they been answering these questions? Are their responses clear, or is there stumbling over the words? Those are all things that I want to note for speech as well. So that completes my JOMACs. Next, I'm going to move on to my cranial nerves. So, cranial nerve number 1 is my olfactory. So for this, I am going to hold my patient up. So for olfactory, I am going to plug one nostril of the patient, and then I would